Ngā reo rangatira, kia ora. Tamatu Tamaora follows the journey of Tuari Dawson, a man who involved himself in solvent abuse and petty crime at an early age. However, along the way, Tuari discovered the principles of karate and was introduced to the values of his culture. Violent tendencies were surrendered to discipline, and the love of a grandmother helped provide direction. Today, a man who is illiterate at the age of 20 has become one of the top motivational speakers in the country, and a man once high on glue became the karate champion of the world. Tuari Dawson, Tamatu Tamaora.
Tuari Dawson, actor, singer, all-round entertainer, and world karate champion.
My first steps in karate, I mean, I saw my first demonstration when I was about 5. I vividly remember it. It was a judo demonstration at our school. And I didn't know what judo was, I didn't know what martial arts was, but I knew that I liked it a lot more than rugby or soccer or running around the field or climbing on, you know, the jungle gym or whatever. And my Uncle Ross, he taught me basic things, you know, kicking, punching, blocking, falling, and just really inspired me.
We used to call him Bruce Lee, and poor old Stu, when I think of it now, he done karate for years and we used to chuck off at him. So here's Bruce Lee coming. We didn't realise how good he was.
Tuari started training at only 5 years of age under lifelong tutor and mentor Sensei Scott.
Walked up and he was sweeping the dojo floor, and I walked up to him and says, "Oh, you know, come here to train," thinking that I'd have an opportunity to fight everyone. And what he wants to go, just do a class, just do a class. He was polite, he was sincere, and asking, "Oh, this old fellow, what can he do?" And I did an entire class, and, you know, there was no fighting. I was going, "Well, what's this about?" And I go back up to him and I go, I was pretty proud of my technique, and I go, "What do you think of my kicks?" And he goes, "Pretty, very, very, very pretty."
The principles of karate provided the youthful Tuari with direction.
He taught me traditional values: be humble and polite, train considering your physical strength, practice earnestly with creativity, be calm and swift, take care of your health, live a plain life, do not be too proud or modest, continue your training with patience.
Whenever anyone come to the house, his father would, "Stuart, come and show this one how you do the swords," or "Come and show this one how you sing." And poor old Stuart, any time someone come, I think he used to cringe. Number of times he done demos with the swords or backflips, or and on the trampoline he jumped off the roof one day and jumped onto the trampoline and ended up the next door over the next door neighbour's fence.
These tendencies were never subdued, and the oldest of 5 always had a yearning for adventure.
I was in one of the grocery shops one day, and I was down one of the aisles, and then from the next aisle I heard this voice saying, "Mum, Mum, Stuart's outside, Stuart's outside," and I hear the mother saying, "Come and show me this Stuart, I want to see what he looks like." So kids from aisles always attract like a Pied Piper.
To this day, Tuari makes a concerted effort to share his skills amongst children of all ages.
This is a story about an ant. Now, the thing about this ant's name was Langi. Everyone say Langi. Hey, and one day, Langi was... Okay, you. One day, Langi was walking down the road. And the thing of Langi is that he liked to walk and he liked to sing, so he's walking along singing one day, la 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 la, la 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 la. But the thing with Langi is he didn't look where he was going, so he's like, la 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 la. One of the things that happened for me when I was a kid is that you were someone who came and had a corridor to me and it changed things. Even just a little bit, if I can do a little bit, if I can give a little back to what I owe to those people. You know, people like my teacher, my grandmother, my mother, my father, just people that I've known and have influenced me over the years, then it's all worth it, and I think it's the least I can do. And I love, because I think kids understand me a lot more than adults do, to be honest. So have a lot of fun, it's great fun. Okay, there's a mutton! Take him now, I've got to punch your nose, okay? Take him! So Langi tried a second time, he tried a third time, he tried a fourth time, and he's running up, he goes, here I come! He goes, he's running up. I slip again. And after a really, really long time, after years and years and years, Langi climbed the mountain. And he got up right up to the mountain's nose and he goes, you know what? I climbed all the way up the mountain. It took me 5 years. But I climbed up the mountain. And now that I'm on top of the mountain, I'm taller than you. So I don't care about you. I don't need you no more. So.
Over the years, Chris Maxwell has helped Tuari understand his Māori identity.
First met Tuari, really, he was our next door neighbour, and he was a young fella who became one of our babysitters for our then 2 younger children.
All us kids will look at the window and see this spunky, sort of feisty Māori woman with, the shock of red hair, pull up in her car, running back and forth, doing all these things, going to places, and just it turned out one day that she needed a babysitter, and so me and my sisters, we all had our turn, and I wasn't the favourite babysitter because I didn't make chocolate cake.
He used to talk a lot about, a big fella, and he used to talk lots about karate, and about Japanese culture, and I said to him once, are you aware of who you are and where you're from? And he said, oh, what do you mean? And I said, well, you're Māori, aren't you? And he took a story home to his dad about, they're a bit radical, those people I babysit for, because they sort of said to me that I'm Māori. And his first introduction into anything Māori or the Māori world was really through my dad, going off to a taiaha wānanga in Belclusa that my uncle Mita was then running for a group of young men. And I think he came back with Top Warrior Award, as they give out junior and senior awards, and that's where his journey began.
A journey that has brought him back to his tūranga waiwai.
So one thing wrong with the Maori people, is they keep dying. That has been the leading cause of dying amongst Māori, and I think that if we all eat more of the tawa berries, then we're all going to feel a lot better.
It's always been a dream of mine to come back up to the north. I'd been living in Auckland, I moved to Wellington, I lived in the capital, and my whole life I talked a lot about, in my mihi talking about, my awa is this, and my mountain is this, and my marae is this, and so on and so on. Yeah. When I'd actually never been there, so for me it's a dream to go back and touch base. Literally to be able to walk into a marae, not just name it off the top of my head in my pepeha, but actually to walk in there and people might recognise my face and just reconnect, because my whānau moved away from there, over 30 years ago, so it's an opportunity to go home, and it's the only place I've ever felt like is home.
Today, Tuari stands on his own marae, exhibiting and sharing his skills where people identify him as one of their own. However, this journey has not been without its mountains.
While he was doing volunteer work for us, Jim Moriarty snatched him up on a trip down here with Te Rākau. So he was tāhaid for 2 or 3 years and came back with this marvellous, these skills that he returned in terms of marae theatre, in terms of whare pūrākau.
Jim Moriarty, for me, was probably the first actor I'd seen he'd do it anywhere. He would act anywhere, he'd do it anywhere. And I remember really vividly being in Dunedin and sitting in the Teachers College auditorium, and this nutter, this wild-eyed nutter running up to me and going, where's that bloody dog? Winston! And that was when he was doing Ngāpuke. And he was just this dynamic man, he's a dynamic actor, and, you know, I've said in other things that, you know, he's like the Māori Robert De Niro. Well, I think Robert De Niro is like the Pākehā or Jim Moriarty, really.
It is the cause. It is the cause, my soul. For by the worth of man's eternal soul, thou hadst better had been born a dog than answer my wake wrath. Tuari, like many young Māori males that I've come across, suffers from that disease of, you know, being potentially brilliant at so many things. What the hell do you focus on? Here's a young man who could tell you a story in karate and all that sort of physical stuff, you know, Māori martial arts. He's a comic of the highest order, you know, with some more training, he could become the best in the world.
Okay, I want you to do this. And I went, what? And he says, I want you to do this. And I went, all right.
There was a man inside there who had been through hell in lots of ways, and he did share with me some of the experiences of his own home life that wasn't ideal, you know, in which he had to become the protector of some of his whānau really early on. And he did his best and loved his family, all of them, even those in his family who were perpetrating not such good things on him.
I started karate to protect my mother from the violence that was so much a part of her life. And I wanted to understand violence more because it was so much a part of mine. The things that I saw that went on. I loved my mum, and I wanted to look after her.
But the pressure was too great. Amidst the turmoil, Tuari turned to solvent abuse.
He was a complete and utter stranger to us. He was angry. Just someone we didn't know.
They couldn't know me because, you know, when I started sniffing glue, I just became a different person. I became more angry, more frustrated. It magnified everything 1,000 times because I had all those toxins running through my system. And I remember one time coming into the room, just my brothers and sisters, all my young brothers and sisters, watching the oldest brother writhe around the floor like an idiot, you know, because I was just so off my face. I just became a monster. A violent, angry monster.
Well, I think he realised within himself this wasn't the road he wanted to take. So he went to his grandmother first. I think he had the strength to decide that this wasn't where he wanted to go. And then he went to Taha Mary at Queen Mary.
Tuari turned to Esme McClay, his grandmother, for comfort.
My grandmother's, she was the kindest, most gracious, most graceful, loving person I've ever known. And she just looked after me. You know, when I was a kid and right up to only a few months ago. And she had manners, she had this amazing manners, and now we do things, and she was never ashamed of me, and no matter what happened or what I did, or where I was, she always said, you can come home.
Sadly, Esme McClay passed away in April of this year.
And she's kind of the glue that holds me together. She saved my life, she saved me. It's like, I was like in the bottom of a well. And she saved me.